everyone. Welcome to Artistically Married, where art and opportunity collide. We're your hosts, Jake Ackerman.
And Brienne Steinberg. Yeah, today we have our dear friend, Nicholas Spencer Murray, joining us on the podcast. Our first videographer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It's so cool as we continue to have guests that we just realize how many different forms of art there is, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, I've never had one of those. Amazing.
Well, what did Jason count as?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, you've worked. As soon as I messaged you and then I was looking through your Instagram, I was like, oh, yeah, you've worked with Jason and Erica.
Lots of times.
Yeah, it's so cool. That's true.
I
Is he a videographer? I thought he was a director.
Yeah, he's... when I work with him, he's a director and I'm his cinematographer. So
okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to overlap in that field, right?
You do a bit, yeah.
Jump around. So yeah, he is the proud founder of Murray Media, an amazing videographer and operating here in Niagara.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. This is my first podcast, I think, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
cool.
That's fun. Yeah.
Do you feel like, it's weird for you to be on the other side of the camera?
Yes. Anytime I have to do that, it feels weird.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you could just kind of take us back to around high school and what were your earliest memories of film and what was so impactful that made you get into it?
Yeah, I've always liked movies. I think most people like watching Star Wars. We talked about that when I first showed up. It's cool watching that, and you never think of it as a career. And then in high school, you can take the communications class, I think they call it, or whatever, and you can make films there. I'm like, this is kind of cool. Still never thought of it as a career, especially living here in Niagara. It's just like there's no movie industry or anything like that here.
Right.
And then my uncle started doing it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. You can make money doing this. And then so he was kind of like my first inspiration, watching him go off and make money doing it. And then, high school, I did a co-op at a company here in St. Catharines, and then I was just from there, basically from 18 till now. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Your uncle got into it? Obviously, if you're saying he was into it, like you were at an age where he was later on in his life getting into it, starting a business in it?
Yeah. He's not too much older than me, but
Young uncle,
yeah. And I still work with him too.
Was he making films or like doing just video projects? And
a bit of both, yeah. Films and then like corporate work and stuff like that. Cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, we were, I was going to talk about it later in the episode, but since you brought it up, I think it is, it's so wild, like being in a smaller town. So I wanted to just like talk really quick because I think this ends up coming up a lot with guests is just, it's the trade-off between, spending a lot, making a lot, spending a little, making a little kind of thing is like keeping your overhead reasonable and being able to get work and, be really impactful and meaningful in the community. So can you just talk a little bit about kind of, starting an industry or starting in an industry that is in a smaller town? Yeah,
it's tough. Like I ended up doing a lot of weddings at first because this area is, one of the wedding capitals of the world, I think. Right. So I started doing a lot of that and I didn't love it as much. So like that was a trade-off where I was starting to do something. It's like, is this what I want to do now? Like, I don't know if I love this.
Right.
And then, once COVID hit, that's when I got an opportunity actually out of town in Hamilton, Toronto area to work on movies. And then I kind of built a career doing that way and then brought it back here. And then now a lot of the companies here will bring me on to projects. And it's just, I kind of work with everybody in this area. And that's kind of how I have to do it I almost work with all the other production companies in Niagara. And that's how I stay afloat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they'll contract you out like to split like different projects.
Yes, exactly.
Very cool. Yeah, and I think, like I said, I mentioned, you can talk to us a little bit. We were talking before the show about the space that you were renting in St. Catharines and how did you switch that? Because, again, I think that comes into that overhead play, right? Where you're like,
absolutely.
It's so much, it's so much expense that you're floating something. So I think once artists specifically figure out a way to, like, lower that ceiling, and they're in a smaller town where it is affordable to just, pay for your life.
Exactly.
It ends up being where you can kind of be more experimental in your art.
Totally. Yeah. And I did the office thing for a few years, and it's a cool space. And
Downtown St. Catharines, you said?
It's North End.
Okay. It's a cool space. But I think it's just we're in the same boat, just keeping your overhead low.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ends up like allowing you to do those kind of things. So do you want to talk to us about what the projects were that you got involved in COVID?
Yeah, so there was a company called North Film Co. They were based out of Oakville. I think they're Hamilton now. But they do feature films. So that's basically exclusively what they do. And he had this system where I'm going to have the whole crew to make a movie on salary. So people can come to me, you want to make a movie, we can make it all in-house basically.
Wow.
And so we were doing that. And I did that for 2 years with them. And once I was having a kid, I was like, okay, this is like intense time-wise. We would finish a movie on a Friday, start a new one on the Monday. And for those that don't know, the movie industry, your days are 13, 14 hours, like basically minimum. So it's once I was having my first kid, I was like, you know what, I'm going to step back from this, I think. And then, yeah.
Cool idea though, that they're just like, they have you on salary. I mean, for budgeting wise, it's probably a better scenario. It
is. Yeah. He's able to make a little bit of money off everyone's head that way. Yeah. And then we're all steady work, which doesn't really exist in this industry.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise you're just like, oh, I don't have a job on Friday, I got to go back out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How do you get jobs? Like, how do you do marketing in that industry?
Word of mouth largely. It took years to build up to that, and then now I just have enough people that call me where it just keeps me busy. And
good for you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't mention this at the top of the episode, but Nicholas has done our videos for our recital year after year. They're amazing. They were awesome. But I noticed that you and your wife were coming together to do them. Was that originally what started Murray Media?
Yeah, we worked together almost all the time until we had kids, and then she also has another job, so she would come out on certain projects and we work really well together. And that was kind of the start of it. And then I'm actually in the process of starting a new business with someone I work with frequently.
Wow.
And we're going to focus largely on narrative work, so film and television. And
cool.
Yeah, so we'll be launching that very soon, which is cool.
Cool. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so
it's excited.
It's kind of a similar concept to that North Film Co, where we're keeping at least the equipment in-house. We have all the gear to basically make a movie. We have the lighting, the grip, the cameras, and then the name is Murky Images, which doesn't sound like it would be a great name for a company that,
you want some blurry film?
You want some blurry.
Here we go.
But you know what? We figured, so it kind of mixes our last names together. His last name is Rick, mine's Murray. And then you have to have a lot of confidence in yourself to call your company Murky Images. So we thought that was kind of fun. Yeah.
It's like a play on words. I like it.
Yeah. And people will obviously get it,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, mind my ignorance, but when you say a feature film, it just means like a long form versus
like a 90-minute
movie.
Yeah.
90-minute movie.
Or more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, if someone's a director and they're like, I wrote this, I would love to make a movie, they would go to you and you would have the equipment to do it, basically?
Yes, and usually they'll have to have some producers and some money attached to it as well.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
That's always the question. I got this script. What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
And then because I work with all these great people in Niagara, these other filmmakers, that we have a really solid team, and we can outsource all the other roles that are required, and everyone here is so passionate and so talented that it's just, the product will be great because we have great people here, and we all have fun too, and we bring a really good vibe to set because it's just, we're friends, we're kind of having a great time. We have a silly job making movies. It's just like, we're not saving lives, it's just making movies, so we all understand that, and we're having fun.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned, like a team of people working together. And we really do find that in Niagara, because there isn't that, pressure to take anything, because there's not a pressure of timelines and crazy budgets as in bigger cities.
Yes.
We do really find that people in the area are really able to like hone in on their craft and become so good at their jobs.
Yes, I know.
It's almost like we have to be like that, right? We have to be next level to like,
It really does feel that way. Yeah. Because when you go to Toronto, at least in my industry, like a lot of people are burnt out. They're just like on to the next project. They're jaded. Where here everyone's so much passion, so much talent,
Yeah,
we have a lot of friends in the film industry in Toronto, and just camera techs and stuff like that. And it's a pretty intense schedule.
It is. The burnout's real. Like it's tough. And if you're not having fun, the burnout hurts more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you end up with, you end up in a scenario where you can't take time away. Like, they really do feel like they're on demand all the time, so they can never prioritize anything else. It's not like, oh, you know what, we're busy now for a month, we're just going to push this back.
Yeah.
They're like, no, if we don't take it now, somebody else is going to take it, right?
That's just
the competitive is like the competition, I think, is just so crazy.
It is. And you don't want those people not to call you back. It's like, oh, if I say no, is that it? I shut that door forever,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do really. We always hear like they're retold stories of just being like on call at all times.
Yes.
They can never be off. They can't book vacations. We can't even get them to book like a dinner because they're like, what if I get booked? You know?
Yeah.
So I think that it's fun to be in that industry, but when you end up in that like level of it, it ends up just being like stressful.
Absolutely.
It's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
I was really curious if you wanted to talk to us. We're going to get into kind of how the industry has changed in this way, but I'm curious about, you had mentioned all the gear.
Yes.
How did that look in terms of like, you buying gear over the years and acquiring, and how do you decide what to buy and how do you keep up with it as it changes?
Yeah, it's tough. It changes really fast. You'll buy something and like 6 months later, it's like it's outdated already. But and I've made a lot of mistakes purchasing stuff, and I think now it's when I'm on a project, I'm like, I need this, I don't have it. And then it's like, okay, it's going to make sense to buy it. When a project comes, another one comes where I think I'm going to need it, I'll buy it for that. And then I have it for all future projects. But like camera tech, it's like the camera I have, when it came out, I don't know, 7 years ago, it was $25,000 US, and it's already outdated. It's like, it's right. So it just, you spend the money on it, and then you're going to have to buy it again eventually for certain tech purchases. But yeah. But a light stand will never be outdated.
That's true.
Thank God. Yeah, I think
good old-fashioned hardware.
Yeah, right.
I think it's similar to you. Like you'll be, you're on a job site, right? So I guess it's like a tool for the job type of thing where you're like, he'll come home and be like, oh, I need this saw. And I gotta go buy this because I need it. I can't get the job I want, right? So I think it's probably the same thing. But yeah, I just imagine like how much money goes into it and how you budget for how you're going to pay it off.
Yes, and that's where it worked out having a partner. He's also buying gear. So he's like this business partner, and it's just... Now we can buy what each other don't have, and then we're filling in gaps. And then,
that's good.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting as we get older how... I don't know if it's like an ego thing when you're young where you just feel like you can do everything yourself and you don't want to bother anyone. We talk about it all the time. You're like, it's just easier for me to just do it. I'll just do it myself. And I think you get to be 40 and you have kids and you have family and you have so many other things going on that you're like, I need support. Like I need a partner.
Yes, absolutely. And that kind of came, like I was doing it by myself for a while. Once my wife, we had kids, and she's doing that. I'm like, I'm doing this solo. And then my business partner, when we started doing projects together, it's just the product was always better. Like we worked well together, and it just what was on screen looked great. And we're like, okay, like we don't want to not work with each other. So
totally.
That's
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
He's in Niagara too?
He is, yeah.
I think too, there's such like an emotional support too when you're running a business. That like it's so lonely.
Yes.
You know, you're just like, it's just me. I'm like, I made no money already. Why am I sitting here at midnight doing this by myself? You know? So I think once you introduce a partner, the emotional support you get and like the fun that you have.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? It just like it turns the job into like not so much, so much work anymore. It turns it into like so much fun.
That's just it. Yeah. I was feeling burnt out before that. And then it's just like, okay, I'm having fun again. And then we have other friends we work with, and it's just, we all share the pain of when the work is slow and when things aren't going well. We understand what that feels like, and then when it's going well.
Yeah, and I didn't even think of that too. But yeah, more heads or more, more of a team means that you're going to have more prospects of getting jobs too, right? It's like, everybody go fishing. Let's go.
And we just all hire each other, and that's just it. Yeah, it's like, hey, I got this job. Let's all come out and do it. Yeah, it's cool. And again, it's limited stuff that's going on in Niagara, right? It's not necessarily that like everyone's doing projects. How much are you spending now? You kind of mentioned going up to like the GTA or Hamilton. How much time are you spending having to like travel to do jobs? I would say it's 50-50 split, these days, which is nice. It used to be heavy that way, and then it's starting to come. There's a web series we shoot in Niagara. It's like rage baity kind of content, but it's all narrative. It's like a web series, 15-minute episodes, and basically most episodes are shot here, which is nice, and that keeps us pretty busy, even just that one project alone. So
what's it called?
It's called Paradigm Studio. It's we call it narrative cardio. It's just like you have a lot to get done in one day. You have to do it all, and we work as a team to get it done. It's fun to do.
What did you say? Something baity?
Rage bait.
Rage bait.
What is
it's
rage
just like
bait?
it's off the top, they're going to make you as angry as possible at this content, a character usually that they've written. It's just like they're going to do something really horrible. You're going to hate them, and then that's like how they hook you. And then,
okay.
Yeah.
Is it? You said it's on like it's a web based?
It's all on YouTube, and I think they have it on like all the social platforms. Yeah.
Definitely have to check it out. It's fun. I want to rage.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, so I'm learning a lot in terms of like media content where you are trying to get people's response, right? You're trying to get like a rise out of people.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you're like writing or like narrating a story intentionally to do that.
I know, yeah.
In your head, you're just like, they can't mean to do this, you know? They can't be intending to do it.
Yeah, I know.
It's hilarious.
It's interesting.
I wonder, what's the benefit to it? Just getting like the
I think
interest?
Engagement. Yeah,
engagement.
That's just it. And they'll do it right off the top. Like usually like a story will like ease into it. It's just like right away. It's this person's doing something horrible, and you're going to see it on screen, and then that's how they hook you. And then the longer you watch it, the more they make off, I'm sure, ad revenue or however they.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think it's important as a consumer to know all these things and behind the scenes, right? You're
right.
like, what's being, what's happening to me?
Yeah.
Am I being manipulated right now?
It's crazy. We all are. Anytime you're scrolling on your phone,
Yeah. It's just interesting now that it's not just the intention isn't just to like tell a story.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
So I was curious about that actually. If you want to talk to us about one of your favorite projects, and I was specifically thinking about like storylines and like what as a videographer, what would be like your favorite storyline that you've told over through your work?
That's a good question. There's from storyline standpoint, that's a tough one. We just did one in June called Karate Ghost, and it's this action comedy movie. It has Bobby Lee and Jim Belushi in it, and Bobby Lee's like this like sensei guy, and it's just this fun, quirky action comedy about a band of karate in this town. It's fun. I think it has a Scott Pilgrim kind of feel where the action's super like cartoony. It's an action movie as well, and so,
that's cool.
Yeah, that was fun. So I think that's going to turn out good. So yeah.
Oh, it hasn't come out yet?
It hasn't come out yet. No.
Very cool. Yeah, we'll have to watch for it.
Yeah.
What is it? Ghost Karate?
Karate Ghost.
Oh, Karate Ghost. Is someone dead in it doing karate?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, he possesses this young kid and then he can do karate when this guy goes inside his body.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah. What was was it Casper that came out when we were kids? It was like that?
Yeah.
Casper the Friendly Ghost?
Casper the Friendly Ghost, yeah. That was karate.
Amazing. That except karate.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you want to flip and talk about maybe a story or a project that you worked on that you hated the most?
Also Karate Ghost. No, I'm just kidding. No, Karate Ghost was a lot of fun. Yeah. Which one did I hate? I think...
Everyone's wedding.
Yeah, weddings, all the weddings.
All the weddings.
No, I'm just kidding. The weddings are fun. Creatively stifling, I feel like, because they're all the same. But I think, when you're on a wedding, it's at this point I've done
probably be fun at first.
Yes. And then it's just kind of rinse and repeat. And you try to find ways to be creative and do something new, but a lot of weddings are the same too, right? Maybe the location's different or whatnot, but the days are usually laid out typically the same. And
they're gonna want the similar shots.
Exactly. It's like, okay, we like this video that you did, just do it for us, please.
Change the dress. Change the girl. Amazing. I think that is a really cool thing though, because you had mentioned that it's like mostly word of mouth through marketing.
Yes.
So I feel like that's probably like a really big way. I know we have some friends that are photographers and they're like, that's the biggest way that we can have our name passed around.
Yes,
right? It's like, who did your wedding? I see it on all our mom groups too. Who was your videographer for your wedding?
Yeah.
Okay, so not weddings, but do you have a project that you worked on that was a struggle?
There was this one, it's kind of a crazy story where we were filming this proof of concept for a movie, and the location was in this quarry, so you had to be driven down. It was like a 5-minute drive, so we had a shuttle that would drive you down and drop everybody off. The guy that hired me was supposed to be the cinematographer, but the producer accidentally, I don't know how, hired 2 cinematographers. And it was like, how do you do that? So they're fighting, but the one guy is like, hey, it's my gear, so I'm the cinematographer. My buddy's like, obviously, no problem. So we're hiking through this forest in this quarry, And this cinematographer guy's, I'm with him, and we're walking, and he slips down this hill, and he just goes tumbling down this hill, like pretty steep. And I'm like, oh, crap. He's so I'm trying to get down there.
Not crap.
And he had the camera on his back too. So he's just like down the hill. I'm like, oh no. So I'm getting down there, and he's like, I think I broke my ankle. I'm like, oh man. So I'm going,
I guess I'm the cinematographer now, man.
Right? So I go and I find the producer. I'm like, hey, he fell down the hill and he's hurt. So they're like, oh no. Take the shuttle, go up, and we're calling 911 and meet the paramedics up there. So I take the shuttle, I drive all the way out of the quarry, I'm up there, and this little fire truck is the first thing that shows up. And he's like, hey, can you just take me down there and then come back up for the paramedics when they're here? I'm like, sure. So he follows me in his fire truck. We go down. The fireman assesses the guy. He's like, probably broken. Go up in there and get the ambulances. So I'm like, okay. So I run back to the shuttle. I'm like, where's the keys? I can't find the shuttle keys. So I run back. I'm like, I can't find the shuttle keys. He goes, here, take my fire truck. So now I'm in this fire truck driving up, and I drive up. There's all these cops and paramedics up at the top. And I don't know what possessed me to do this. They're all standing there. I go, hop in. They all come into the fire truck, and I'm driving them down this quarry, and then I drove a fire truck. So, the production itself was a disaster, and that was a cool moment from it. Everything else went downhill, and it was
literally.
just like, yeah, literally.
Oh my god!
It was a bit sloppy how it was produced. Obviously, you hired two cinematographers, unorganized. So, but that was a cool story from it, and then everything else about it was
drive a fire truck. That's amazing.
I remember just driving. They're all in their gear, and the heat's blasting. They're like, can you turn the heat down? I'm like, I don't know how to operate. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be driving this. I'm not qualified.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that happened. There was an ambulance at one of our job sites, and it was parked in front of me, and I had to leave. Aaron was like, oh, I'll just hop in and move it. He just like got in and drove it forward, and the guy got so mad at him. And he was like, never hop in like an emergency vehicle. Like, oh my gosh, it got intense.
That's intense.
Maybe
I'm
you're
surprised.
lucky.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm surprised. It's a funny story, but that was my least favorite project. I don't know what ever happened with it, but yeah.
Cool. Maybe it sounds like a cool spot though.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're like those outdoor spaces, I think I don't know how to I guess that's the romanticized part about being a videographer is that like ideally you get to we hear the stories from our friends in Toronto. He's like, yeah, I was videoing a guy, running down the streets of Toronto on a horseback, you know, just like chasing him, So I think those really cool environmental stuff is like a really awesome.
Yeah, or you get to travel, you go somewhere cool, or even explosions. I always like when we were like blowing cars up or stuff like that. That's
for sure.
Yeah.
You have done that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, do you want to tell us about it?
There's just been a bunch of movies where it's just this car has to blow up, so they bring pyrotechnics out and stuff. Yeah, we had one instance where the guy. The scene takes place at sunset. We shot the rest of the scene the day before, and then the next day we were going to do the car blow up, just to make sure you only have so much time with the sun setting.
Right.
So we had it all set up.
You only get one shot to blow the car up.
One shot to blow up the car.
Right.
And it's all set up, and everyone's ready, and you're sitting there, and they start counting down 3, 2, 1, and then nothing happens. We're like, oh no. And it's just, that went on for like an hour. The sun is set. It's done. It's like,
no.
They still blew up the car, and then finally when it did, they're like, 3, 2, 1, and you're expecting it not to blow up because we just did it like 20 times, and then it blows up, and then like your camera shakes a bit. You're like, oh no!
I was ready the first 20 times, but 21. Oh my gosh, that's insane. I feel like, how do you know like where to set up for all that stuff? I guess that's why you have all the pyrotechnic guys.
Yes. They'll tell you where you can go, where you can't. Yeah.
Man, I think I want to do this job, Jacob.
Blow up a couple cars.
I think that's what I want to do, pyrotechnics for movies. So awesome. Okay, we already had kind of talked about your gear, but I was curious if you had like a brand that you really like in terms of, I know, we're also looking too. We're always talking about like purchasing film gear, but how do you decide like what brands to use?
That's tough. It's like right now for camera, I shoot on something called Red Cinema. They're based out of California.
Cool.
That I just managed to get a good deal on it, and it was a nice camera. But these days you can't really go wrong. Like a lot of cameras are really good, and the price point starts from low to high. And honestly, that gap between like even the $100,000 camera to the $5,000 camera, that gap has closed a lot. So it's,
cool.
So you can't really go wrong with manufacturers.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that. I think like the technology's just changed so much, and it's made everything so much easier for people. Like
For sure.
we were even thinking of bringing up like how essential are drones, like in your photography. Like you used to have to rent a helicopter for an aerial shot, and now you have this $1,000 remote control toy basically that can do that for you, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like even coming from film to the digital camera age has allowed people like me to do this job. If it was all on film, the amount of people that would do it would be much smaller. There'd be less movies just because it's more expensive.
Yeah.
And then drones into the mix. It's like, you don't have to rent a helicopter. The consumer can now get these cool big epic shots. And same with lighting. Ever since LED has come into play, it's just like it's much more everything across the board is more affordable, and allowing people like me to start a business like this and do it like 30 years ago that
successfully.
was not a thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is it hard to learn how to fly a drone and do camera versus, you're used to the way you were used to doing it?
Very much so. I have another story. It was it last year? The movie just came out in theaters yesterday, actually. It's called Little Lorraine. It's this movie. It was shot out in Nova Scotia, and they flew me out to do this drone shot. It wasn't my drone. It was the guy that hired me's drone. It's a $10,000 drone, so it's like one of those big boys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the movie it's like big cast, big movie. And so I'm out there, I'm flying the drone, going across the coast, and then all of a sudden on my camera, I just see it spinning. And I was like, oh no, and just right into the ocean. Yeah, just gone. They were going to send scuba divers down. They needed the insurance claim. They needed proof that it went into the ocean, which I guess was difficult. But
did you have the video of it?
No, because
no.
I didn't hit the record button. It didn't proxy to the
You were just
controller. I
watching
was
it
just watching
plummet
it
to
go
its
down. And I was like, oh no.
Right, that's right. My card's in my drone, so you wouldn't have the footage.
Yeah. Down in
What
the ocean.
happened?
They ended up getting their money through insurance eventually. It was a big insurance claim.
No, I just mean like what happened that it...
Oh, we don't know. There was a rumor that someone shot it out of the sky. I think that would be hard. I was going pretty fast, but I have no idea.
No one can catch me.
Yeah. And I was like, we were in like this bay, and there was houses there, and I guess they're kind of like that area. They don't like drones and stuff like that, so that's where they came up with that theory. But we'll probably never know.
No,
it's just,
it
just
could have
gone.
just made like malfunctioned, right?
Yeah. I guess
Is it hard to fly them?
No, it's intuitive. It's scary though. It's just like when you're especially if you're going flying through stuff. It's just it's like your palms get sweaty. And but they make it pretty intuitive. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
And that drone, we had two pilots actually. So I was controlling the actual aircraft, and someone else was controlling the camera on the drone.
Cool. It's two separate things.
Two separate things.
Okay,
Yeah.
our drone is just a little guy. It's got like...
Yeah, we got a DJI Mini, and I don't know. I played a lot of video games, I guess, in my childhood, so I was pretty, I don't know, I picked it up quickly. I feel like I'm a pretty good drone videographer. But I was flying in Peru, and there was like a big like eagle or something that was checking it out, and I was like, oh no, please don't do it.
Don't attack me.
It did some passes and kind of sniffed it out, and
left it alone, thankfully.
Decided to leave it alone.
The minis are great though. That's like it's crazy that it's just like for that money you can be getting these shots that's just insane.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I was I don't know if you have encountered. Do you have your own drone?
Not
Camera?
anymore. Not
okay.
anymore. Yeah.
Did it also plummet?
I actually yes, and then I repaired it though, and then I was like, you know what? I think I'm done. I think I'm okay. But my business partner, he has a drone, and
perfect.
He's crashed a few, but he's good at it.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about it because for anybody out there that's in the market or is interested in them, they're amazing. But we thought it was so crazy. I don't know if this is like all drones, but it was like you had like a 24-hour window between when you turned it on to get your insurance.
Yeah.
They make it so hardcore so that they're like within 24 hours of you turning it on, like you have to go on, register it, like put all your information in it. And then I think it was like $200. It gives us 2 years, and like it can fly away 4 times.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Right?
Yeah.
Good insurance.
Yeah.
Like it literally, I'm like, what does this mean? Fly away insurance. He's like, it means
flies away.
I was like, oh my God. That's insane.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're so cool. Yeah.
I think, so we had talked about, I think making it more accessible and making these types of purchases more, more accessible to people is great. But I also think we're simultaneously dealing with, we were talking off air right before the show, we're dealing with people that are just, point and shooting, and they're making their own home videos.
Yeah.
And it's wild too. Like, I don't know if you have like experience or have like populations at your disposal of like young kids.
Yeah.
But they're it's like Blair Witch Project all
totally.
day.
All the time. And it's crazy when you actually, I did something for Ridley College. We were filming some advertisement or something for them, and the kids are so comfortable on camera. It's just like, we would kind of like feed them a talking point without telling them exactly what we're looking for, hoping we'd naturally get it, and they nailed it every time. It's just like they're so comfortable on camera. This
they're
is like
all
next
actors.
generation. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they're all used to like taking it.
Yeah.
So do you feel like, the difficulty of running a business where, everybody thinks they're a videographer, everyone, and everyone can be, right? They're all putting it on YouTube. They're doing it.
Absolutely.
Like, we look at, kids that are 10 years old, they got these YouTube channels and they're millionaires.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, what does that kind of pressure feel like in the industry, right? Of like honing your craft while 2-year-olds
exactly out there making like 7 times the money I'm making. Yeah. It's crazy. And I think that's what kind of pushed me into narrative as well, because once you start lighting a scene for a story and you're shooting the scene for a story, that takes a different level of, you have to know how to do that. You have to know, okay, this scene has to have a certain feeling and mood to it, and that's going to come in on lighting, and that becomes difficult because you can just throw a light up and blast it, but it's not going to look good. How do you light a scene to actually look good, and how does it fit the story? And then how do you move the camera to also fit the story? It's not just point and shoot, it's when do you move the camera and when do you not move the camera, and that's all stuff that you have to learn. And
And I think you also, so you're learning how to do it, but you're also, I think that brings in like the feedback loop of like, what's your audience perceiving it, and what's a hit and what's not a hit. So I think that you're really kind of focusing more on like the emotional intelligence of your audience and what you're trying to like get out of it. So that was also one of my questions, is just kind of like, how do you want people to feel when they're looking at your art?
Yeah. And for me, it depends on the story I'm telling, but when I'm approaching a project, let's say someone has written a script and they explain what the context of the script is, you kind of have to think about how is it going to get digested by the audience, and how can I mess with their subconscious mind, not mess with their subconscious mind, but make them feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Like I have to make them feel a certain way by lighting and moving a camera. And then actors as well. It's collaborative too. It's like, because the actor's performance also has to convey that. The director has to convey it to us so we can communicate it visually, and it's very collaborative. So it's not as much it's not one person's decision. It's everyone working together. It's like, this is what we want someone to feel when they watch this. And
What's your favorite emotion to invoke?
The favorite one, I don't know.
Oh no, something exploded.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, great. Or a ghost that knows karate. No. I like doing lighthearted stuff. Like, comedy is a lot of fun to do, but just because it makes people happy.
Yeah.
I hope that people can feel inspired too, I think is always a feeling. It's just like I don't have the qualifications to be doing what, like 10 years ago I would have thought that, and then it's just, but I did it. I worked hard. I kept at it, and I wasn't naturally good at this. I didn't just pick up a camera and was just like, oh yeah, I got this. I can do this. I'm really good at this. No, I worked hard at it. I wasn't naturally good at it. And so I think anyone can do it if you put in the time and the work.
Yeah, and I think it does come down to that, like, your intentionality, right? Is that you really want to like try to connect with people, and you want to connect in this really meaningful way through media. So I think that's really powerful. I sit on a mastermind company, and there's a lot of discussion around, specifically now, about that fact of like, you just have to get out there and do it. Just say yes, just try it, right? And I think we're at this like precipice, or we're, part of our history where like people feel they're describing themselves feeling like immobilized. Like they can't, and they get stuck in this rut, and they're like, oh, I have to go to school first, or I have to learn first, or I have to read this book first, or I have to interview this person, and they're going to tell me how to do it. So I think it's really inspiring that we were talking off air, and you had mentioned that you didn't specifically go to school for this. Yeah. And I think like the hands-on experience just ends up being so much more powerful.
It is, and you have to, that voice does come in where it's like, you can't do this, you have to do this, and this first, or it's just like, I live in Niagara, how am I going to be successful at making movies? Or like, there's all these things that could be roadblocks, but if you don't try to push past them, you won't, right? That's,
Yeah, it ends up being like a mindset thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you describe, or do you have a memory of a time that was something that felt like a failure, but then later on you looked back and you were like, no, I learned so much. Like, that was great.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm sure it happens all the time. I think the important thing, if I can't think of a specific example, but there's lots of times where I shoot something and then I'll always watch it back. Even if I'm not the editor, I'll watch back what we shot. And I'm like, okay, this could have been better. So let's not do that again. And I just have to constantly be self-evaluating and then trying to fix the things that aren't working.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Have you found that you get, how do I ask this? Because I know sometimes you wouldn't be the editor, but have you found that you've gotten better at the execution, so then the editing gets way easier?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
A big difference from, and it's important to not think that I know everything at this point. Like, I have to constantly be learning, because like even from a year ago, it's a huge difference. Like, it's just like every year it's just,
I find that any trade, the more you know about it, the more you know that you don't know, and there's still so much to learn, right?
Exactly. You can't shut your mind to, I know everything. I'm perfect at this, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. No, and then you don't grow, right?
Exactly.
I know it's people that I encounter in any of the industries, and especially now with the podcast, where they just have this like, actually we don't. It must just be like our openness, and that our guests tend to be like more open. Yeah, they're more open-minded, but I think it is just a mindset of like not getting just not getting like stuck in that feeling of like, I can't, you know?
Yeah. And check your ego too. Make sure your ego doesn't grow too big, right?
Yeah.
That's important. Some of these creative industries that can be a big thing, right? It's
Yeah.
just big egos, and then that's when you feel like you know everything and can do everything.
Yeah, or like the fall from grace process,
Yes,
right? Where you're like, that was so good, and now what? Now I'm So when you get a big ego like that, it's really hard to like rein it back in. I think. So I wanted to talk just kind of about some of I think the fire truck story may have taken it, but I was thinking about like unpredictable things that happen on camera.
What's a good one recently? There was something, a lot of it's people being unprepared sometimes is a big thing. I'm trying to think of something really unpredictable though.
Like your actors not being ready?
Yeah. Actors is a big one. Is if they don't know their lines, or sometimes it's nerves too. Like nerves is a big thing.
Oh, Do you guys have techniques to like get people more comfortable?
We try just to keep everything light, and that does help. Like, we're just like, we don't want an intense vibe on set. We don't want, like, a lot of sets you'll go on to and it's like the director's like screaming and it's just like, that's not productive. Yeah.
Jason and Erica were talking about that.
Oh, yes.
And kind of like how that was their motivation to start their independent film project or the independent film company.
I might have been on the project they referred to. It was things get heated and that's one of the ego things, is people's egos get so big and then they think they know everything and then they think they're on top and then that's when
you're
they
not
start
working
yelling.
as a team.
You're not working as a team. And it's so collaborative that it's just like it doesn't do anyone favors. And then your actors start getting nervous and then they're not performing properly. And then
nothing crazy that can come to mind.
I'm sure it's happened. Like the fire truck, I guess, would be the example. The prime example.
Or the car blowing up. I think, same thing, right? It's like there's so many things that can go wrong in a scene, in one single scene, between the people, the props, the plays.
Absolutely. We had it once. We had this big 20-foot by 20-foot black piece of fabric to create like a kind of darken the one side of the scene, and we were outside filming, and it's in this big metal frame, and then a big storm starts coming through, so we're like, okay, put the fabric was like up right, and we're like, put it down and just lower it as low as we can get it because the wind's starting to pick up, and we're all kind of hiding under it because it's like just downpouring as well. And then the wind comes, we're all grabbing it, holding it as it's a big sail, and then it's on these big light stands, but the wind is just so powerful, the stands just start bending and it's filling with water. And then we had like a tent that had the director's monitors in it, and one of our guys is holding onto the tent blows away and he does a complete flip, and it's just like everything's blowing out. All the monitors are getting rained on, and we had like 20 people trying to hold this big fabric down until basically the rain stopped. Stuff like that happens all the time, and it's just like,
yeah, just shooting outside, the unpredictability of the weather. Yeah,
especially recently, it's so windy all the time.
Yeah, I feel like that too.
Okay, we were wondering that. We're like, man, we gotta ask other people. Like, are we just going crazy?
Right.
So we just got the drone, and we can't fly to the wind.
because it's too windy.
We're like, what the heck? Like, is this like a new thing, or it's like one of the, what's the phenomenon where like you get a car and you see the same car driving around?
Like that,
I'm like, am I just losing my mind? Am I just noticing the wind? Does it feel like it's getting windier in Niagara?
Yeah, I feel like that, but who knows? Maybe I'm just noticing it more. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if all three of us notice it, then it's for sure happening. This is it. It's happening.
This is our conspiracy theory. Let's start this. Let's start a site.
Niagara Falls is getting windy. It's a windy city.
Yeah.
Do we have I feel like we have an Ontario town called Windy City.
Oh no,
isn't
that
Chicago?
Chicago's the Windy City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're in competition now.
Yeah.
You heard
we're coming
it
for
here
your
first.
title. Yeah. You better watch out, Chicago.
Niagara Falls is coming for you. So I was curious kind of about your specific role, as we had kind of mentioned, that you might jump back and forth from a director to a camera person, and then the editing and maybe the narrative and maybe the story writing. So how do you kind of balance all of that when you are shooting a movie and working collaboratively with a team?
Yeah, it's once your role's decided, kind of stay in your lane a bit, and but you have to wear a lot of hats, and it's especially like we've talked about here in Niagara, everything's just smaller, which means the projects are smaller, which means it's like, okay, I might be the cinematographer and I don't know, 10 other roles. And it's just, I think the best approach is ask for help when you need it, and try your best.
Yeah. Sometimes it's fun. I think that I find this too, because I'm like in a small dance studio. And we talk a lot about this in our mastermind company too, where you do have to it makes sense because you specialize, right? You're like, I'm the best at this. Yeah. And there's a team of 25 of us, and this is my one job. And we hear it a lot with our film industry friends as well, where they just find that they're just like, yep, I only operate this one camera and I just wait for my time, and I might sit in my car for 13 hours. What do you, I think in comparative, when you're talking about a team where you guys might have to do multiple jobs, do you feel like that is more of something that would make you feel more engaged and more interested in the project versus just sitting there? They have stories of 13 hours sitting in their car.
Absolutely.
I'd be pulling my hair out.
Absolutely. I find the more hats you wear, the more you do throughout the day, and you're just more invested in the whole project. You care more because you have more things to care about, I guess. But if you're on a very common in movie sets, if you're a grip, who's someone who's sets up the rigs for the lights and everything like that, it's once they set it up, and if you're there for the whole day, you're just waiting until the end of the day to tear it all down. But you can't go anywhere in case they need you, in case something goes wrong or they need it changed.
That's literally the reports we get. They're like, I'm just sitting in my car for the next 14 hours. I'm like,
it makes for a long day.
Long day.
I would rather wear a lot of hats and do a lot of things.
Me too.
And maybe be a little more stressed, but have more fun.
More hands-on. And I feel like too, you're being allowed to go into, I get the whole stay in your lane thing.
Yeah.
But I think then you don't learn any new skills.
That's just it. Yeah.
Right.
And actually, when I started doing this, camera wasn't my initial goal. When I very first started, it was, I liked acting, and I'm like, oh, let's try this acting thing. I'm like, okay, maybe if I get a camera and start shooting stuff, I can shoot my own stuff. And then I was like, oh, this is cool. And then, it's just, and I would have never discovered that had I not.
Are you still acting now?
No. No. It's a long time ago now.
Okay.
It was the last time. Yeah.
Maybe I think in that scenario, going back to having to jump into a bunch of roles. Maybe it's we need an extra. Get in
and then
here,
I'll hop in.
Okay.
Anytime I've done that, actually, it's fun. I always have so much fun. It's here, be an extra, Nick, and it's just okay, cool. And then it's just Yeah, you
had mentioned, being, shooting your own movies, and again, just going back to this generation of people we were talking off air, is that that's becoming so prevalent. People are just putting a camera on their face and talking about whatever they want.
Totally.
So I think we are moving into a time period where that really could be a feasible way to make films. It's
Yeah.
just filming your own self, talking
Honestly,
about stuff.
and I think the next generation cares about that more than movies. I think they know their YouTubers more than that's their version of movie stars, right? Like when we looked at movie stars or musicians, that's what they look at YouTubers like, right? It's just, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. We were talking about it before the episode, and I feel like that shows our age. That I want to see landscapes. I want to see what's happening in the world. Yeah. I don't want to just see some guy talking about something. Right. I guess it depends on what they're talking about.
That's true.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, I think we are ready for a break.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and then we'll come back and we're gonna talk all about our art versus our families.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Brutal.
All right. We'll be back.
Today we are hanging out with our dear friend Nicholas Spencer Murray of Murray Media, talking all about cinematography and videography. It's been great so far. Thanks for coming.
It's been fun.
Awesome. I just wanted to talk about this. I think it's just such a prevalent theme. We're all working so hard on all our art forms. We're working, running businesses. But we have this, side operation, which is our whole heart and our whole life behind the scenes, which is our families. So, can you talk about, you'd mentioned your two little ones.
Yeah.
And how are you balancing, trying to be the father that you want to be while you're trying to run your business?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm still trying to figure it out every day, right? It's hard. The benefit of my job, it's a blessing and a curse. I'll work a lot all at once, and then I'll have a huge chunk of time off. So I do get that time with them. So sometimes I'll have like 3 weeks where I don't have any work, and I just get that to spend with my kids. But sometimes I'll be at the other side of the country for 3 weeks, and then I don't see them at all. Yeah, it's hard to juggle it. And then you have to build priority lists. It's okay for my business. What do I need to do to keep it alive and to keep functioning? And what can I kind of put on the back burner a little bit and handle when I have the time, which means not doing it, I guess. But
kick the can down the road.
Yeah. And it's building priority lists because family is number one priority,
100%.
like all the time. But if I don't make money, I can't support the family.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah.
Do you want to eat, guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Daddy's gotta work.
Yeah. So it's building a priority list and what has to happen business wise, and then what would I like to do, but it isn't essential, and then that has to sit on the back burner.
Right.
And then, yeah.
Do you feel like that your family has kind of like pushed that into overdrive, like your focus?
Yeah, you know what? And it took a while to figure it out, but in a big way it has, and it's also made my time management better because my time is so finite now. It's just like what did I do with all my time before? It's just like oh my gosh. So
I find I eat way faster now.
Yes. Oh yeah, me too. It's just like get it down. Yeah. You do everything. Yeah. It's hard to prioritize, and it's hard to. There's things you want to do, and you have to just be willing to let it go. And that's what took the most time, is just be like, okay, I want, this is something I've done for my business for a long time, but it doesn't matter anymore. It has to just sit on the back burner. And
Yeah, I think you hit a really good point, which is like the time management thing, and just being like, we talk to other business owners a lot, and I think it really is just like getting very specific about your schedule and knowing that you're like, this is my scheduled time, and if I run out of time, then I put it away and I focus on my family, and vice versa.
Yes.
Where you're like, nope, this is my business time, and I'm sorry, you guys, like I want to be there for, you know, Play-Doh time again today.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I'm missing Play-Doh time today.
Yeah. And then also leaning on other people too. It's like, even something more recently for cutting a new demo reel, it's like I've always done that myself. I've always gone through the footage, and it's just like I've decided just to hire somebody to do that. And it's just, and then because that would take me weeks of just digging through footage and stuff like that. It's like I would rather spend that time with my kids, and it's worth hiring someone to do that.
Yeah. I think there's something really intentional and meaningful about empowering other people. But just like, I think we talked about the ego, and I think that goes along with the ego of like, I don't know if it's like a glutton for punishment, but like as business owners, as artists, we're always like two things. One, I might as well do it myself. Or B, no one else can do it like me. No one's going to be as good as me. You know, no one's going to care as much as I'm going to care.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's not true.
No, it's not at all. And once you start letting that go, it gets easier. You just have to take the steps. And the demo reel is a great example of it. The person I've hired is a significantly better editor than me. So it's just like, I have a better product, and I'm not doing the stress of doing it myself, and I get to spend more time with my kids, and I end up with a better product. So...
Yeah, same. Yep. I think for so many years, I just thought as a dance teacher, I'm like, no one's going to do it like me, you know? Yeah. And then when I took a step back and now I have like 5 people doing what I was doing by myself, you realize you're like, they have so much more time. Like none of them have kids yet. Yeah. So like they don't have that like... not nagging priority, but they don't have that very serious priority of like spending time with their kids, and they don't have that like, you know, they're at that time in their life where we used to be, where we had all the time in the world. We didn't know what we were doing with. So and then I think like you said, I just see the final product on stage, and I'm like, wow, like you know, they did amazing. So it really is, and it's exciting, like letting other people. I always am saying to him, I'm like, it's kind of selfish when you look back on it, how you weren't willing to share it with anyone else, you know? Like you weren't willing to let people in on your project, and as soon as you start collaborating as a team, you're like, oh, look at I'm teaching other people.
Exactly.
Right now I have people that are in the business, and they have the luxury of like learning underneath me. That also brings into like the idea of mentorship. Have you kind of felt that with your business? So like people coming up in the industry?
Yeah, for sure. And I help Jay and Erica with their Films for Youth program. So I've done a lot of mentoring through that. And it's fun watching these people that have that drive that I had when I first started. And it's cool to be able to just provide something, right? And this area, like we've talked about a lot, it doesn't have a huge industry. So when someone's trying to come in and do something, it's nice to be able to be someone that helps.
And just passing on your knowledge, right? Like we had said, every time you do something and you fail and you make a mistake, you learn from it. So then you being able to like pass that on to like kids coming up and being like, don't make the same mistakes I did. You know, I remember when I tried this for the first time, and this is what happened.
Exactly. And it's also being forgiving when they do make mistakes, because I've made the mistakes. It's just remembering, hey, I've done that. I've been there. And
and that's so powerful for them too. I think that was a big theme that we could tell with Erica and Jason, how important that was for them to create these safe spaces for people coming up in the industry where they don't feel afraid to make mistakes.
Absolutely, because the industry is really toxic that way, like in other places. So it's nice to be in a place where you don't have to be like that, right? Like, it doesn't have to be scary to be on set and make a mistake. It's It's interesting that industry, and like lots of industries, I know lots of like corporate industries that people are made to feel like that. It's a weird psychology, right?
Because really I don't think it's ever necessary.
No. And
watching people operate out of a place of love, the art is always so much more natural.
Absolutely.
It's just fluid, and like it comes together, and it's not, you know, coming from this place of like, you can feel it. You can feel when a piece of art is like rushed
totally. And the best
forced.
idea is not going to come out either, right? If people are scared to contribute, especially something like filmmaking where it's so collaborative, if everyone's scared to contribute, you're not going to get the best idea out on screen.
I was curious how much we're just such like audio junkies, but I was curious how much audio plays a part when you're building films.
Oh, huge. Yeah, it's more important than the video, actually. You will watch a video that looks like crap but sounds good. But right when it sounds terrible, you're done, right? You're not going to keep watching it. So it's such an essential part. And
Yeah.
sound techs are expensive for that reason. Like location sound mixers they're expensive to get them out on set, but they take their job seriously. And it's like your fridge would be unplugged, and it's just like when you're doing it, because you can't have it kicked on in the middle of the scene. Yeah, right. So it's just knowing all those little tricks, and it's just
I forget to plug it in sometimes, and
that's the worst.
And I got unfrozen fish that's been there for 3 days.
God.
He came upstairs the other day. He's like, "Oh my gosh, the fridge has been unplugged since Wednesday." I was like, "Well, it's just a drink fridge. It's fine."
A lot of sound mixers they'll put their car keys in the fridge, and then they can't leave the location without plugging it back in.
Oh, that's smart.
That's smart.
I usually have to write it on every single
piece of paper. Yeah.
We
Drop
got
your cell phone in there. It's
and
like,
the
okay,
furnace too. I got to turn the furnace off too.
Yeah.
Yeah, sound mixers are so important. It's just like,
I was thinking
think
also. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, we just listened to that. We were listening to the biography of George Lucas and how like focused he was on like how the film was going to sound when he was just doing his like indie films in his like film school. But yeah, that's cool, like the focus that he had on
well, think about the lightsaber, right? That's such an iconic sound, right? You hear it, you can see it, right?
Totally. We were just watching we went to see the Mario Brothers movie.
Oh yeah.
Your kids are still little, so
yes,
probably,
I haven't watched it yet. Yeah.
But it's so good. But that's the thing, right? It becomes like where you have so much emotional attachment to a sound.
Totally.
How do you pick music?
That comes down to money, first of all, because like a lot of times we'll cut a project to a song that we can't get the rights to, and it's just like
I wasn't even thinking that
you have to license it, and like most of the songs that you want to pick are expensive. So local artists, so Niagara has a great local scene, so like it's great to be able to put a local artist song into a project. So that's a big thing we like to do. We've even had a project where we had someone from the Mandevilles come and score the song for us, and they were like our video. So we had the video playing, and he was literally like doing everything live on the screen, and it was cool.
Come on, it was fun. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about the licensing portion of it. I was just thinking like, you see a scene and you have to decide again. We're all focused on George Lucas right now because we're getting ready for May the 4th. But I think like that was such a big thing watching those movies that I was like, oh man, he's using all this like amazing orchestra music. So I was just thinking to myself, like, how do you decide? How do you watch a video or a scene and decide what music to put on it?
Right. And usually like for Star Wars, he would have hired a composer that's just like John Williams is like a mastermind. He's watching and creating all this iconic stuff. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, it's hard decisions, but I think I'm trying to remember. I remember in university, us like studying, I think it's like smell first, but then sight's the second in terms of your emotions that are connected to your memories.
Oh, interesting.
So smell's the first one. So if you smell something that's like your brain is that's like going back to like, think of it as like a really primitive animal thing, right? Or you smell something and you're like, oh yeah, this is it takes me back to whatever. But a sound is the second. So I think you really when you're enriching people with those like auditory sounds, you're invoking the feelings, right? So I think it goes back to like the feelings that you want your audience to have.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you pick them, or do you have like a team that works on the audio?
It depends on the project. Yeah. Sometimes projects smaller, we do it ourselves, and it's like we subscribe to a site where it's just like tens of thousands of songs that we can get the licensing to, and then it's digging through it, and there's a lot of stuff that's not good, so it's just digging through, finding the right thing. It's just hours of just listening to songs. It's like, this doesn't work. But then if it's like a commercial or something like that, you usually will cut to the music, right? So you have to find the song first,
right,
before you start doing the edit.
So that's the last thing I wanted to talk about. Current projects that you're working on, and then also just things that people can hire you for.
We didn't do this one.
Jake's, this is such a fun question. I'm glad you reminded me. Usually I'm like, don't interrupt. I was just wondering. I was thinking, if you had, because I know, anytime you talk to someone about create a project in film, the budget, you can't talk about a project without talking about the budget. And these are huge amounts of money that people put together and come up with in order to make projects like this.
Yeah.
So I was curious, if you had no budget and no limitations, you could shoot it anywhere you want. Would you have do you have a project in mind that you would shoot?
I would do some sort of sci-fi. I think something in space, because that's just something you don't get a lot of opportunities to do. So sci-fi and filming in Australia or somewhere cool like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like go away for a few months and shoot this cool sci-fi movie in Australia.
Yeah. I guess you need the desert, right?
Yeah,
Awesome.
right. Yeah, exactly. What's a sci-fi movie without a desert?
Yeah, you need the middle of nowhere to do a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, I think that would be it. It's just sci-fi is expensive to do. Like I've done a few projects that are science fiction, but very few. So
I was curious, actually. I didn't put it in here, but I was thinking how videographers are so scrappy, you're always just like, oh god, we need to like make this prop or make this scene or make this set. How can we fandangle this?
Exactly. It's all so
spending
fake.
So much money?
It's like, okay, no one breathe because this whole thing's gonna come down. It's improvising, and there's a lot of times on these smaller projects that it's just like, okay, we need to light the scene, and I need a light here, and it needs to be whatever size. How do we get it there? And it can't be in the shot because we're looking that way. So it's just like, it's all creative problem solving. It's fun.
I love that though. I feel like that's like such a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
So what projects are you currently working on?
Yeah.
Or coming up?
I am helping Centennial High School with they're doing a film called What We Had Was Noise. I do that this Friday. What We Had Is Noise, or God, I'm butchering the name now.
No, it's okay.
And then I just wrapped on a short film that with some friends called Above and Beyond. And what else is coming up? I'm doing a music video this Thursday for Tim Hicks. What else?
I feel like, did I see he's playing at Misty City?
I'm not sure.
In Niagara Falls?
Maybe. I
think he's like one of the headliners at Misty City.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we're having like a music festival down by the falls.
Yeah.
Oh, we had Eric Dixon on. He was like, he's the, what do you call it? Organizer?
Yeah.
What's that job? Yeah,
cool.
Events organizer?
Yeah.
Coordinator
Maybe.
That sounds right.
He's the man.
Yeah.
He's running music festivals.
That's awesome.
Yeah, putting on music festivals.
No, that's great.
Cool.
Yeah, Tim Hicks is nice. I did his last music video as well with Jay. Jay directed it and I shot it.
I think I saw it. Yeah, I was combing through all your Instagram stuff, which I'm going to link on the bottom of this. Cool. So that was my last thing, was just to give people ideas of like ways that they can hire you.
Yeah.
So I know I run into people all the time and it's like, I need a videographer. So what's kind of the scope of what you could be hired out to do?
We do like anything. Obviously, we talked a lot about narrative, but I do commercial work and music videos. Really anything. We just did a job for the furniture gallery, and it's just anything that you want to tell a story. So it's we're not just going to come in and just be like, okay, let's dolly in shot on your business. We're going to want to tell a story. And so if you have a business and you want a video done that's like not just some guy with a gimbal going in and out over and over again, that's where it kind of the next level from that. So
Cool.
Yeah, we were talking off air a little bit, but I think people just don't give enough time for like the brainstorming process, and I think bringing in a videographer for us anyways has always been like, it forced us to think more creatively about our intentions and about our story.
Sure.
But like a lot of times as business, you're just like, I just want clients, I want people to come in, but that's not really what your business is about, or your story, right? Like,
and if you tell the right story and do the right video, you can use that video for years. Like it's not, you won't be able to date it as fast.
And it does really give you like time to figure out like your own collaboration, right?
For
like
sure.
What is our business motto? What do we care about?
Exactly.
What are we providing to people?
Exactly.
So I think it really is important as like the hiring of a videographer and telling your story, is it forces you as a business to figure out what your story is.
Exactly.
So
and then
I think it's really exciting.
My business partner writes, so he helps with that process. So it's not just like, okay, write
Here,
and tell
you
us.
do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they'll get help with like, the script writing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he'll write the script and he'll have a conversation and then write the script, come back and then have notes and dialogue about what points were hit and what wasn't. And
So yeah, so they would kind of get like pitched to, and then they can decide.
Yeah, exactly.
What angle they want to take it to.
Exactly.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay. Great. And obviously, are you still doing weddings?
Don't
call me.
Yeah, don't call me. I almost got away last year with doing 0, and then a friend called. He's like, "I really need help on this wedding." I said, "Oh no."
Okay.
All right, I'll do it.
All right, all right.
I don't so much do weddings now.
Okay.
But for a friend or something.
Yeah. Okay. Also, so yeah, I will post all the stuff in the bottom, but where can people find you?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, the Murray Media, soon Murky Images. Keep out for that. Look out for that one. That'll be.
It's under Murray Media.
Murray Media right now. Murky Images isn't out there yet. This is like brand new, like within the next couple weeks. So
cool.
Murky Images.
So exciting.
I don't know what the handle will be because I don't know what's available, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Images. Okay. I will definitely add all of that underneath so people can get a hold of you if they want to book you in.
Cool.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah,
thank you so much for coming.
That was fun. Yeah, thank you.
Good luck with Murky Images.
Thanks.
I love it. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we get a lot of weird looks when we tell people the name, but
no, it's fun. Awesome. You know, clearly that's what people are going for now, right? You got to get the weird looks.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thanks so much.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, and you'll never miss a podcast.
Good night.
I've been a searcher, I've been a prisoner, I've been a tool, I've been a preacher, I've been a sinner, I played the fool. I know everybody's gotta serve someone until I meet